What's going on, guys? Car Review Guys here. My name is AJ, and today we have a 2023 Toyota 4Runner, and this is the TRD Pro. This is the highest trim level of this, and you guys know how these go. We start with the exterior, then we'll go to the interior, and then we'll take it on a drive. Without further ado, let's roll. You guys will notice right off of the bat that this is obviously a pretty bright color. It is called Solar Octane, which is pretty unique because it's very bright orange, and in some settings and some light, it actually looks a little bit red. So it's pretty unique, if you ask me. So if you don't like the color, there are other color choices, of course, but yeah, it's bold. So, starting with the exterior, we have LED headlamps. You have a nice little inlet up here, which obviously adds some character to the exterior. And then coming down to these wheels, they are definitely beefy looking. They look really good, and they are 17 inches, and to be exact, they're 265 70/17s. Upside down for you, but right there. So nonetheless, it looks really aggressive. You've got the roof rack up on top for the TRD Pro. You have keyless entry. Hopefully you can see it there. Sorry, this paint with this sun is just hard to see things, to be honest. On the mirror, you've got blind spot monitoring right there. You have plenty of ground clearance. You have some nice black badging in the TRD Pro, and I don't know if it's going to show on camera. There's a lot of metallic in this paint too. I've got to try to point that out. Hopefully you guys can see that. You have a driver's side gas fill, and you are looking at a 23 or 24 gallon tank. I will put it right here on the screen for you. Sorry about that. But you're going to get 19 highway and 16 city with a combined average of around 17 miles to the gallon. Now, walking around to the back of the vehicle, obviously pretty famous. The back glass goes down, and you can actually control that from this button right here. I don't know if it'll let me while it's running. We're trying this together right now. It does not. The vehicle has to be off in order for it to work from there. Nonetheless, you can. You just hold where it says unlock. I don't know if you'll be able to read it. This one says unlock, the top one says lock. Long story short, you hold the bottom one, it will come down whenever the vehicle is off. Now, to lift the rear hatch, there's a button right there. Lift it up, and plenty of cargo space in the rear. It's already labeled on the right. You can see it has some JBL speakers, and they actually sound pretty good, I won't lie. This is kind of a unique feature. Sorry, that's my drone and the little cargo net there. But if you just pull this lever and then pull out, you now have like a loading tray. You'll see here the max weight is 440 pounds or 200 kgs. But yeah, I mean, I guess it can be handy because you can put stuff on here and then obviously just slide it right back in place. And this is rather deep. So if you're a smaller person and you want to, you know, not scratch up your stuff, I guess that's pretty handy, to be honest. They also put a cargo strap up here if you're a shorter. You will also notice that there are speakers here. So if you are sitting back here eating lunch or whatever, you've got speakers right overhead, and honestly it sounds a little bit like surround sound, and it's pretty cool. Now, if you are not shorter, you also have two things to grab onto to shut the rear hatch. Alrighty, that's pretty much going to sum up the exterior. Let's go ahead and jump inside. Starting with the rear. For those of you that don't know, I always test whether it is easy to get in or out of the vehicles, and I am 5'9". For those of you that are new to the channel, definitely hit that subscribe button. If you are new, I would appreciate it. But nonetheless, you do have a grab handle right here, which makes it pretty easy to hold on to. Now, at 5'9", I don't know if you can see, it comes up to literally like my kneecap. In that range is the height. So stepping up in here with the handle, you definitely have to duck. It's not that easy to get into the rear. It's kind of the same thing as the Tacoma. It's kind of high off the ground, but the overall like headliner is shorter, so it's not the easiest to get in and out of, but it's not terrible either. But nonetheless, yeah, this thing does have optional step rails, and I personally would recommend those if you're looking at getting this, especially if you're a little bit older. All right, shutting the door here so we got a little bit of shade. Sorry, Arizona, the lighting is brutal. Cloudy days are the best for those of you that don't know for filming, but we don't have too many of those here. Okay, in the rear, again, I'm 5'9". I have about 2 inches of headspace. However, these seats do actually recline wherever the lever is on the side. Oh, it's right here. You can actually recline the seat, and now there is like a ton of headspace. So keep that in mind. If you need some headspace, it does recline. That definitely helps in this vehicle. Right here in the middle, we do have 2 cup holders there. Obviously fairly standard, nothing too crazy there. It is a leather material, and it is nice and soft, which is good. Down here, you do have 2 vents for the rear, and you will see it is updated to USB-C ports. So that's pretty nifty. They're getting with the times on that. You'll notice the it is not carpet. It is a nice rugged display for the matte. And the, you know, winter rubber all season, whatever you want to call it. Definitely a nice touch to have in this, because this vehicle really shines off-road, to be honest, and we'll get into that further. Alrighty, let's step into the front. Before we even step in, we'll go over on the left all of your standard window switches, lock, unlock gadgets up top there, which is a little strange of placement. It's kind of like high compared to most vehicles. Nonetheless, that's where they're at. You got some contrast stitching, as you can see on the door. It is soft touch all through here, which is definitely good to have. And then you will notice it is a power seat, also a good thing to have. Okay, let's test the front getting in it. Let's see, it does have a handle right here, which is also nice to have. Many driver seats don't. So stepping in, oh, it's much easier to get into the front. Much easier. Yeah, that was way better, won't lie. Oh, I gotta shut the door though. There we go. Yeah, that wasn't bad. Little more head clearance to get in. You have more room. Pretty easy to get in and out of the front. So personally, I would say it's actually easier than the Tacoma. That's just me. You guys can go try them for yourself, but honest, that's my opinion. Okay, let's go over the interior, starting with the roof, because you guys can already see a piece of it. We do have a sunroof, which is nice, not a panoramic roof, but I wouldn't expect it on a 4Runner because that's really not what it's made for. Center console is soft touch, which is good. Lifting it up, you can see down in there, pretty deep actually, not bad. And then you also have a little like cubby there as well to put some stuff. It's made for tissues, as you can see, but you can put whatever you want in there. Looking down at the center here, you'll notice that it's like a carbon fiber. It's not real carbon fiber, but it's made to kind of mimic it. And I mean, it looks pretty good. It's kind of weird in a off-road type setting, but I actually like it. It looks pretty good. You've got heated seats. There is no cooled or ventilated in this one, but there is heated seats and a heated steering wheel, as you'll see right there. The temperature knobs are absolutely massive. Honestly, at first I thought this was like the four-wheel drive button, because many vehicles, it's just a spin knob nowadays, but they kept her original here. We've got the shift knob there for high 2 or high 4, and also low 4, which is up there in the top right. So yeah, which is, you know, good, because again, this vehicle really shines off-road. Now, moving our way up, you have your garage door buttons here. You've got your sunroof settings, and then a lot of your other traction control, rear locking diff, all of your different settings that you can go through, whether you're in the mud or rocks or whatever. There's all kinds of different settings that you can go through for off-road. And again, just to beat a dead horse, that is where this vehicle shines. Okay, coming down to the steering wheel here, you will notice it does have adaptive cruise control and it has your lane departure notification. It does not steer for you. It will just let you know if you were leaving your lane, which is always nice to have. But again, I love lane centering, so I wish we would see that, which we probably won't see it until the entire vehicle gets refreshed, so I kind of understand. Up in the middle, you will see you've got some analog, you know, old school, honestly. You do have a screen in the middle, which is always good to have. Over on the left, you could have a camera button right here, so that way you can check out the cameras, all of your mirror settings, lights, all that good stuff. Now, if we hit the camera button, you will notice there the screen is, the cameras are dated, okay? We'll just leave it at that. The cameras are dated, but they're at least there. You even have 360 view, which is good, but it's not exactly the clearest thing in the world. Speaking of the touchscreen, it's okay. It'll do for what you need, but it's the old system, and it's not the fastest thing that Toyota offers now in their other lineup. So again, I'm sure we'll see that in the refresh, like totally new design model. But again, it still works. It's an 8-inch, which, you know, good enough for this. And if I have not already mentioned, I think I just mentioned the knobs. It does have dual zone climate, which again is also nice to have. Love having dual zone climate. Over here is your glove box. Fairly big, honestly. It's pretty big. And then let's go over the materials very quickly. Up here is not soft touch, but it's not like a hard plastic. It's kind of like rubberized almost. This is almost like a piano black. Obviously hard, wouldn't expect that to be soft. Steering wheel, it feels massive as far as how big it is, but you know, it's good for what this vehicle is, because again, it shines off-road. This feels very off-road to me. Over on the left, we already went over the materials, and I think that's pretty much going to cover the interior items on this vehicle. But let's show you guys the cinematic before we take this out on a drive. So without further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom. Okay, hopefully you guys enjoyed that cinematic. Now going over again a few of the stats very quickly. This is a 6-cylinder 4-liter, and it's pushing around 270 horsepower. We've already gone over the gas mileage. It's not great, but I would not expect it to be great in this vehicle. So if you did, you're looking at the wrong vehicle, won't lie. But it's also not the worst out there either, so keep that in mind. But it's not like you're shopping for a Prius here. So price point of this is coming in at around $55,000 total. The JBL system is a 15-speaker system, in case you're a big audio junkie. I personally am not, to be totally honest, but there you go. Alright, enough of the stats and figures. Let's get this thing on the road. Okay, getting this TRD Pro on the road. Again, this has a 4-liter, 6-cylinder, pushing around 270 horsepower, paired with a 5-speed transmission. 0 to 60 is around 7.5 seconds, and let's try it. Let's roll. There's wheel spin. I did not expect that. I didn't. Okay, alrighty. I guess that's because it's paired with the 5-speed. Yeah. Wow, that actually wasn't bad. That's pretty good. This thing's got some pep. That's the first time I've actually got on it just a little bit. This vehicle obviously is not really made for speed of any kind. In fact, it's really made for the off-road. Now, if you're wanting an off-road review, there are some other videos that will not be on my channel. The next video is going to be covering the 5 things that I love about it and 5 things to improve. And that's going to be in the everyday use, because the thing is, you're going to take it off-road here and there, but really, I'm guessing the majority of you are going to drive this on the road 90% of the time. So if you want a vehicle that you can go on and off-road, this is probably what you're looking for. Now that we've covered the speed and some of the stats behind it, that's good for practical road use, because sometimes you need to get out of the way of other people. So that's a good thing. Now, let's talk about noise. This does have a good little exhaust note with the TRD Pro. It's actually got a nice little tone. My only complaint with that tone is on the freeway. If you're just trying to do 75 to 80 miles an hour here in Arizona, 75 speed limit, and let's say you try to get to 77 to 80, it's gonna downshift, and it's literally at like 3,200 RPMs. And that exhaust note actually has a little bit of a drone to it. Now, it's pretty quiet whenever you're just running at normal freeway speeds, but nonetheless, the sound is still there. So if you're not gonna be taking this off-road all the time, I don't think I would recommend the TRD Pro, because you can get a quieter exhaust without this. Visibility on this is really good. The windows are massive on this thing, to be totally honest. So there's not much more I can say about that. There's blind spot monitoring if you have an issue with it somehow. The pillar is skinny, so again, I don't have any complaints with visibility. In the comfort category, is it comfortable to drive? Obviously, that's pretty important, especially if you're going to be taking road trips and then taking it off-road and then driving on a normal road coming back. It is comfortable to drive. I mean, you've got amenities such as navigation, you've got lane departure, basically just to let you know, like, if you're leaving your lane. You've got adaptive cruise control, which is super nice to have on a road trip. And the seats and the suspension. This does have Fox struts slash shocks on this, and it is very comfortable. I mean, it absorbs bumps really well, which is surprising, because I've been in some other vehicles with beefier shocks, and it's not all that comfortable for daily use. It kind of, you know, jumps around, bounces. This thing actually doesn't. It just absorbs the bump, and it stays pretty just flat. Now, the one thing with that is there is a little bit of body roll. A little bit, but again, is it bad? No, it's not. Are you buying this vehicle for that? I could not imagine you are. So you can't really complain about it. I'm just letting you know that it is there if, you know, you're taking a ton of turns and you're a little bit of a race car type of driver. You're gonna feel some body roll. The other thing, as far as daily use, we've already kind of touched on this, but the gas mileage is okay. You're gonna get around 19 highway, 16 city, and 17 combined. Not the greatest, but again, I think that's really mainly to do with the 5-speed. 5-speed's pretty old school, I won't lie. 5-speed's pretty old school. We could probably maybe put like a 6-speed in this, and I'm guessing we're gonna have all new power plant of everything when this thing is fully redone, and I would be willing to bet it's a 6-speed or more. or more, maybe even a 8 to 10 speed, somewhere in there. But really the 5 speed is what probably kills the gas mileage on this thing. Of course, aerodynamics aren't great either, but you can certainly get better gas mileage if there was a little bit better gearing in it. But nonetheless, that's what you have in this. Along with the 5 speed though, I've got to say that it is torquey, which is good. Which, you know, you could obviously tow a little bit with this vehicle. So if you're wanting to tow like a light boat or something, you definitely could. And it would be pretty comfortable doing so. While in this video, we're not going to be testing all of the different 4-wheel drive options, low and high, or 2-wheel drive low, because we're not taking this vehicle off-road. I have known people to own these and even seen in the forums just how capable these are. And to me, you're the buyer for this vehicle if you're wanting something that can do off-road trails and get an entire family to and from daily use. So in summary, that's really what this vehicle is. I mean, it is super capable off-road. It's going to allow you to haul people comfortably and not be cramped. And it's at a price point that is affordable at around the $55,000 mark. And of course, this is the top of the line. If you want to go a little bit cheaper, you could and still get not everything this offers, obviously, with the off-road package on this, but you're still going to get a very capable 4Runner for some less money. All right, I think that's just about everything you would want to know about this from a road perspective. We've covered comfortability. Are we gonna start a new word here? We like starting new words. Nonetheless, is it comfortable or not? We've talked about the visibility, we've talked about the horsepower, we've talked about, I think, everything you guys want to know. If there's anything that I'm missing, please be sure to comment down below and let me know, because I'm always trying to make these videos better for you guys. Again, the next video is going to be 5 things to love and 5 things to improve. Just like that, guys, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Please like, please subscribe, and as always, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.